Today, we're going to be talking about 5 different ways or strategies that you can use Pinterest to make money. Now, all of these strategies, except for one of them, are ones that I have tried or are currently doing right now. And so I want to kind of peel back the curtains a little bit to show you some of my results, talk about the pros and cons of each of these strategies, and give you a realistic picture on what is possible when it comes to utilizing Pinterest to make money. And I'm not here to waste your time, so let's just jump right into the first strategy. First strategy that we're going to be talking about is to sell your own product through Pinterest. Now, there's many different ways to do this. You can either do a print on demand. You can have your Pinterest traffic go over to Etsy. You can actually sell your own physical product. And I'm grouping these all together because the strategies are very similar, even though the products may be different. And as I mentioned, I have tried all of these strategies that we're going to be going over. So I want to peel back a little bit and show you my Etsy analytics to show you this store that I recently started up, so you can kind of get an idea of what's possible when you start selling products through Pinterest. So here we are inside of this relatively new Etsy store that I started back in September. And I want to walk through the analytics on this and kind of tell you the story on this, because a lot of times people will share the analytics and it's like, oh my gosh, you made millions of dollars in a day. But I want to show you what's realistic. So I started this store back in September, started marketing it through Pinterest. At the time, I had 2 listings. So you can see I actually made $24 my first day of revenue. Keep in mind, this is revenue. And then I kind of just let it be for a little bit. And then October saw 28 and November. December, I had a little bit more time. So I went through and created a couple more digital products, started posting more on Pinterest, and saw a little bit of a jump and then let it kind of slide. And as you can see, $73 in January, $35 in February, $67 April. And then the past 2 months in May and June, you see this spike. This isn't by accident. This is because Corbin finally decided to put his head down a little bit and create more products. So here I actually jumped up to having 20 listings, and then in June I now have 25 listings, and majority of this traffic does come from Pinterest. A lot of it does come from Etsy as well, so I do want to make that disclaimer, but this is right now the results that I've been having. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't been giving this the most love and attention that it needs, but you can see there is a compounding effect here, and my goal here is by the end of the year to have this making $1,000 a month. So some of the pros of the selling your own product is that the cost can be fairly low if you're running something like a digital product or a print on demand. It can be a little bit higher if you're doing a physical product that you're going through and shipping. It's very easy to set up. Pinterest has lots of integrations for all the different platforms. You can go through and set up a Shopify store very easily. And as far as all of the strategies that we're going to be talking about today, this one might be the most scalable because you can go through and pin more often, or you can go through and run actual Pinterest ads and scale this kind of business very quickly. You can see for my situation though, this is kind of just me going through an hour here, an hour there. And so it's a little bit slower of a scale. I'm not like putting ad spend behind it, but it is possible to scale much faster if you wanted to. Now, as far as the cons when it comes to selling products through Pinterest is that one, it can be very competitive. Some of the more lucrative products, especially if you're in the digital product space or print on demand, it can be very competitive to go through and actually get your pins ranking and get sales coming in. Another con is oftentimes, depending on your product, you can have very low margins, and so it's very much a numbers game. So now let's talk about strategy number 2, which is to become a Pinterest manager or a Pinterest graphic designer. And let me show you a few examples on what's possible in this kind of area. So if we come over here to Fiverr, so one of the things that you can do is actually create pins for people. So I've actually hired people on Fiverr before to go through and create me a good amount of pins, or go through and design them when I don't have time for other accounts and things like that. So this is a great service, and you can see you can make quite a bit of money doing this. You can see this listing right here. They have over 554 reviews, and from $60. If we look at this actual listing, they go through and design 6 Pinterest pins, free source, and they're charging $60. And the fact that they have 554 reviews here shows you that these people are, there's a high demand for this, or they have the standard package or premium package coming through to go through and design pins. So this is one possibility. Another possibility is if you just search Pinterest marketing, there's people that actually just go through and manage people's Pinterest accounts. You can see this guy right here, from $30, 97 people have gone through and reviewed it, which means more people have probably ordered. He goes through and does like an SEO profile audit, standard package, and then premium, you have 120 to go through and do all these things. Now, I personally have gone through and done Pinterest consulting, and I still do often. I've never gone through and created like a Fiverr profile or anything like that. It's mostly from people watching the YouTube videos and reaching out on the website. And it's something that I really do enjoy. One of the pros of it is that you don't have margins. It can be very lucrative. And I personally like to work with people and meet people who are also interested in Pinterest. So that's a very big pro of something like this. Also, it is a great way to accelerate your learning inside of Pinterest. Pinterest, when you're able to work on multiple accounts and see what's working in different places, it allows you to grow a lot more in your Pinterest knowledge as well. Now, when it comes to cons for something like this, getting your first client can often be the hardest part and usually what turns people away. That could also be a good thing though, because it means that there's less competition to this. Also, another con of this is it's something that's harder to scale because it's actually you giving up your time for money. You can only have so many hours in the day. That's personally why I don't do it as much, because it's harder to go through and scale. The third strategy to make money inside of Pinterest is through Pinterest sponsored programs. Now, a disclaimer here, these programs do come and go, but I do want you to be aware of the ones that have happened in the past and the ones that are currently going on so that you can qualify yourself for the next one that comes around for an opportunity. Now, I want to talk specifically about two different programs. The first one being the Creator Rewards program. This was a program that was launched early last year where they invited creators based on certain metrics to come through and participate in the Creator Reward program, where you could go through and post specific, in this case, idea pins. And based on how well those did, you could actually go through and get paid every single month. Now, at the peak of this program, I was actually making around $2,500 a month. Unfortunately, I don't have access to those analytics anymore to go through and show you the ups and downs. But here's a screenshot of one of the months where I made like $1,600 just from literally posting something that I already would have posted anyways. So it was kind of just like an extra thing on top, which was nice. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned, these programs sometimes come and go, and this one was closed back in November. But the reason why I bring it up is because you never know when Pinterest is going to launch a new program that you can go through and apply. And the key to this is making sure that you have a Pinterest account that can go through and qualify. And that means having engagement, followers, different things like that. Now, another program that Pinterest has that allows creators to go through and earn money in the platform directly from Pinterest is the Creator Inclusion Fund. Now, this isn't a fund that I have personally participated in, but I've heard it's a very good program. So basically, in order to qualify for this, you do need to identify as being part of an underrepresented community. This does say and you need to be in North America or Canada, but they actually just recently announced that they are opening this up to more countries as well, including UK, Brazil, and I think a couple others. Also on top of this, you do need to be 18 years or older. And then this is what I'm talking about being ready for when these programs open up. So you can see one of the qualifications for this is you need to have between 700 and 10,000 followers on Pinterest. Going through and having your account ready for when these programs pop up and having enough engagement to go through and actually qualify when they do happen is really important in my opinion. Now, for this program specifically, you can see that the applications are actually closed right now. They just recently closed on April 4th for this cohort. But what's cool is that from my understanding, they open up the cohorts, every 6 weeks or so. So you'll want to keep a close eye on this and kind of follow it. You can see this is the form that they have you go through and fill out. I'll link this down below. But another great resource is to go through and actually follow this account on Pinterest. You can see right here, this is the Creator Inclusion Fund. I think they go through and do announcements, and it's just like a great account to follow. On top of that, if you are creating on Pinterest, I also encourage you to follow the Pinterest creators as well. Both of these resources are really good to learn more about new things inside of Pinterest or kind of what's coming up for these programs. These are kind of two resources that I use to follow those things. As I mentioned, I haven't personally participated in this program, so I don't know how much the earning potential actually is for it and what that kind of looks like. It does say here though, however, participants will receive a grant in the form of cash or ads credits. So I don't know what that looks like. If you are a part of this program, I'd be super curious. Let us all know down in the comments kind of what the range on the inclusion fund kind of pays out. And that would be really interesting to kind of figure out. Like I said, right now this is closed, but hopefully in the future, another one will be opening up and hopefully other opportunities for other creators as well. Now, when it comes to the pros for this kind of strategy is that it's basically you're getting paid to pin inside of Pinterest. Chances are it's content that you're already going to be creating anyways, which is great. In my opinion, the programs that I have been a part of, the payout is very generous for just going through and posting inside of Pinterest. Now, of course, the cons of this is there are certain criteria that you need to qualify in order to get into some of these programs. And so as a result, it may take a lot of hard work to get into them. And sometimes, like I said, they may be open or they may not be open. A little bit of a luck factor when it comes into the timing of getting into some of these programs. Now, the fourth way to make money inside of Pinterest is to work directly with brands. There are plenty of brands out there who are looking for people who are creating content inside of Pinterest that want to go through and sponsor your posts and pay you to go through and post and tap into your specific audience. Or a lot of times, sometimes they'll pay you just to create something that they can post on their profile. I've had the opportunity to work with some very fun brands inside of Pinterest. Basically, the way that it works is they contact you or you contact them. You work out a price and negotiate everything, and then you'll go through and build the creative. There'll be some rounds of edits, and then the final product looks something like this. So I'll show you an example of a sponsored post. when you're looking at a Pinterest profile, here's one that I did with a company called Rust-Oleum Spray Paint, a great company. Check them out if you can. But you can see here it has the little paid partnership label with Rust-Oleum. Now, the cool thing about something like this is that they will obviously go through and pay you, and then a lot of times they will actually go through and boost that post as well, so you get exposure to more people. Now, I do like to be as transparent as possible in these videos, but unfortunately, I can't tell you the exact number on how much brands do go through and pay me for this inside of Pinterest because of the NDAs. It would get me in trouble, but I can tell you it can be a good sum of money for working with brands inside of Pinterest, depending on what your kind of follower count is. Now, when it comes to the pros when I'm working with brand deals or sponsored posts, is it can be a large sum of money, which is great. There's not very much overhead like you would with a product or service. And a lot of times you also get free products as well, depending on what you are promoting. Now, as far as the cons when it comes to sponsored posts, is that the payment actually usually is pretty far out, usually 60 days after you post. So keep that in mind. It's not like cash flowing. The deals can be far and in between. Sometimes you'll have a couple in a month, sometimes none. On top of that, you don't have 100% creative freedom. Most of the brands are really good at letting you go through and do whatever you want. And the ones that I've worked with have actually been phenomenal. But it can be one of those situations where they're telling you exactly what to post or things like that. I think most brands have caught on that, hey, creators know what their audiences want, but also something to keep in mind. And of course, the last con is that it can be hard to get these brand deals, especially depending on your audience size. But I encourage you to reach out to brands that you would be interested in doing sponsored content for, because you never know who you might reach or contact. They might be willing to just go through and work with you no matter what your audience size is. And the fifth and final strategy that we're going to be going over today, and my actual personal favorite, is through affiliate marketing. This is when you're taking somebody else's product, marketing for it, and they're doing all the fulfillment. You're just taking a small cut of whatever you are going through and promoting. Now, I'm a part of a lot of different affiliate programs, but I do want to kind of show you what is possible when it comes to Pinterest. So when we come over here, what's realistic. So this is my Amazon affiliate program here. The majority of this traffic is from Pinterest, but I will say like it's from the blogs, some of it's organic and things like that. This is one of the programs that I'm part of. In the last 30 days inside this account, I've had highs of $80, but then you can see I haven't really been posting that much on Pinterest this month. And so, you know, yesterday only $20, $11 here. You can see if we take a look at maybe the month before, and you can see a slightly better month, but generally this bounces between 1,000 and 1,500. I do see higher months in the winter because of the some of the products that I do go through and promote are more winter kind of focused, but this is from just one of the accounts, and this is extremely passive. So I haven't touched a lot of this stuff. I haven't even posted on Pinterest probably for a couple of weeks, and that's why the things are down a little bit there. But you can see we had highs as much as, you know, $80, $100. Isn't like crazy uncommon. It just kind of depends on when things kind of pop off. Now, when it comes to pros in affiliate marketing, is one, it can be extremely passive. Once you have things set up and kind of rolling, it can go through, and you can see I haven't worked on it for a couple of weeks, and it will still go through and pay you. There are multiple ways to make money with affiliate programs. You can join lots of different programs, and with affiliate marketing, you can basically start making money from day one. Now, as far as the cons when it comes to this one, is it can be a little bit time consuming at first to get things rolling, and due to the passive nature of it, it can be a little bit more competitive. But once you kind of crack through all the noise, like I said, it can be a very rewarding kind of passive income play. And Pinterest actually just came out with a brand new affiliate tracking system to make Pinterest affiliate marketing even easier. I encourage you to check that out right here, and we'll see you in the next video.